Hello everyone, welcome back to the Athena Support Clash Guide. This is, I believe, episode 2. The bonus episode threw me off a little bit, which is also why we're getting this on Saturday. Normally I don't post on Saturday, but the bonus episode I don't really feel counted as itself a full episode, but considering the context of the bonus episode, I needed to release it that night because it was the prequel match to episode 1, I believe. So here we are with episode 2 to kind of fill it out to where it really should have been. So we have two mages here, which is somewhat concerning. I should probably let Nox know just in case that I do intend on playing Guardian version of Athena. I'm not trying to go Warrior or Assassin or whatever. We need Hunter. Or a auto-attack focused Assassin would also technically work. Are you going to pick A. Jones 18? No, they're not. Okay. Well, that's alright. Oh, wait, hold on. That was interesting. Okay, so we're going to have a pretty serious problem, namely in that our ability to take towers is going to be practically non-existent. So this is going to be quite difficult for us in that regard. Somebody's going to have to build some pretty serious penetration, and even then I'm not really sure that's going to help much. Furthermore, their team comp is way more balanced. We're fairly tanky, ostensibly. We have a lot of good crowd control, so we still may be able to pull it off, but it's still... I just need to turn up my volume here. It's a little lower than I'd like it to be. There we go. So we're definitely going to have a problem here. Let me see here. They don't have enough self-heal to justify Tainted Steel, so we're going to go ahead with the Sentinel's Gift. I don't think Horrific Curse is the... it might be. It depends on how Nuwa builds, so we'll take Magic Shell for now. Yeah, we're going to want to go with Gauntlet of Thebes. They have enough of both protections where Gauntlet of Thebes, I think, will carry more weight overall. I could build Voidstone and actually get away with that. That would actually be fairly effective on this team. We've got two mages and myself. I could splash a little bit more damage than normal and see if that would work out, especially since we have three tanks. I don't need to tank quite as heavily. Okay, that was a good play on their part. I am in so much trouble then. Huh? Wow, they really slapped me. Okay. We good? Alright, yeah, we're fine. The Baba Yaga mirror match is going to be fairly interesting. Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. Gonna move through here this way because I don't want to get trapped by Genesha. That would not be a healthy move. Not with Rom there anyways. I think Rom went off to Mana, didn't he? There we go. I didn't want to taunt the Genesha because that wouldn't really do anything. There's nothing to fight for. There's no reason. It wouldn't do enough damage. Okay, you want to attack this? Yeah, you do. Pretty hardcore, too. Okay. That's unfortunate. Okay. That was a good beads she used. Oh, shoot. Okay, so I have my ult at the very least. I did get that, so hopefully... I did not intend to take that kill, though. Go for Odin. We going for this? Yeah, we might as well. Ah, shoot. He used beads at a really good time there. That was excellent beads use. Odin needs to get out of there. I just came over here for some self-heal, kind of. There we go. There we go. We're going to go ahead and throw our temp ward down over here so we have vision on this jungle. Huh. Okay, good. We got that. That's nice. We're still not doing great. I would go back for my Gauntlet of Thieves, but I want to stay up a little bit longer, wait for my ult to come back. There we go. Oh, you are in so much trouble. I was hoping that I could distract him, but clearly not. That was a nice ult. Helped me out a lot, but alright. I can distract Genesha for a bit. This Gilgamesh is absolutely slapping. What has he got as his first item? Okay, he's got just defense, really. Okay. My time to die. Nope. He didn't have his silence up in time. I'm just gonna run for it. Okay. Now she's going deep. Am I gonna survive this? I should. Yeah. They are very aggressive and they can really get away with it. They have a much stronger team comp than we do. Nice. I love this play. He gets two people out onto the front lines quickly. That's a shame. Take care of all that, though. Alright. Shoot. That was a really good beads. Yeah, she's gonna get out of there just barely because of the, HP she's got from Staff of the Magus. Staff of the Magus? Warlock Staff. Staff of the Magus. Isn't that a Magic the Gathering card? Been a hot minute since I played that. Gonna be real. Alright, oop. No. Nice. You know what? We're all fighting here, I guess. Can we kill him, please? There we go. Excellent. Now you back off. You stun me. You go right on ahead and stun me. That's fine with me. Nice. I should not have done that. Yeah, I shouldn't have gone after her like that under tower. I did not have my protections up high enough yet. I needed to wait until I had full stacks before I could pull off anything even remotely like that. I was way too anxious on that one. Oh, that's an interesting risk. Who's almost dead? No, Nox is. Yeah, she just killed both of them. Yeah, she really did kill both of them. There was no need for that. Let me see. That was deeply unfortunate. Good play, good play. The fact that he whiffed the other ability doesn't matter. Oh, now you've done goofed. Come here. I mean, it won't kill you, but it'll put you down to a pretty good position where we could actually kill you in another round. Especially since we've actually got teammates coming in. That was a good ult. Shoot. Alright. I'm not gonna make this. Hey, that was actually okay. Did he pick up? He did pick up Nuwa. Alright, so he traded. They really hate Nox. Nope. Give her the opportunity to get out of there. Good. She almost get him. She almost can get him? What kind of grammar is that? Excuse me? Yeah, this is not a fight we want. If he jumps, I'm all over him. He's not gonna jump. He's more aware than that. He's very far ahead, though. Odin, what are you doing, guy? Shoot. Yeah, as soon as he activated his Sunblade, I was doomed. My next move, you know, we'll go for the Void Stone. I think we need a bit of a damage boost here, and I need the magic protections, anywho. My next item will very likely be Contagion. Get that physical armor in there, and I can special armor Contagion, so I can get some anti-heals, some physical protections in there. I think would be ideal. After that, I'm going to start working on my cooldowns. Probably Genji's guard. Yeah? Oh, I was too late on that. Well, we have opportunities here.
This is all part of my plan.
No, what do you mean I missed that? Excuse me? I might have made a mistake here. Yep. I can make it out, though. Since we still have this tower. So I'm okay with this. We still have a shot at this. We've somehow taken their right tower. I'm not sure how we managed this. Okay. I know what he wants. I'm wrong. Shoot. I'm now dead. Yeah, I tried, but I couldn't. I didn't have anything up yet. Ooh. Alright. Yeah, this is a pretty rough one, mostly because of our team comp. This is why you don't want too many tanks. It used to be viable to have a lot of tanks on the team, but those days are long gone. The penetrations are... Actually, I would say that penetrations right now, protection reduction, is a hair too strong, just slightly. I would prefer a little bit less. Execution, I think, is just a tad too strong. If we could do, like, 1% less per, hit, that would probably put it in a pretty good place. Yeah? What do you got? No, you're not getting out of here so quick. Yes. Go. Out. I am out. I am out. Yes. That was pretty fantastic. There's new... I just want to throw my spear at this really quick. Are they gonna actually... No, they're not. She beats. Okay. Need to get out of here quick. Oh, shoot. Ah. I wanted to go back there because I was afraid Nuwa was going to ult me soon, so that's why I backed there specifically. This was clearly a mistake. Clearly, that was not the move. What is Nuwa building? Not for auto attacks, and frankly, neither is Gilgamesh, so Horrific Curse would not be ideal either. They don't have enough anti-heal. No real structures, so... Belt of Frenzy or Blink? We'll do Belt of Frenzy, I think. No, we don't need to surrender. We can still fight this. We're slowly catching up. Oop, I did not need to take that shot. Okay. Okay. I got stuck on minions and the column. Alright, I shouldn't have been that aggressive, honestly. That was on me. That was entirely my fault. He only went in because I did. 100% my issue. Genji's guard, definitely. I'm gonna need a lot more protections, considering Genesha reduces protections a whole lot, and I think probably... No? Okay. Jin size is part of the reason why I'm having a bit of a problem with Rom. Not too bad, but you can definitely see where it's making a difference there. My block stacks are the only thing really keeping him from slapping me down quite so quickly. Need to head left. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, that was a little bold. Okay. Very nice. Nope. I don't have enough protections to last long enough. That's the crux of the issue here. The Genesha absolutely slaps out your protections. Good counter ult. Defensively, the house is fantastic. No, it's not over yet. Oh wait, Rom is there. It might be. Yeah, it does look like it's over. Maybe Odin will save it, but... Alright, now. Okay, so that was a really quick match, and there's a really obvious reason why that was such a quick match, and it's just right down to our team comp. Now, something you have to understand as to why specifically you need either a hunter or an auto-attack focused assassin. Either one will work. The assassin is a little riskier. None of them played badly, well, except for the bot bag killing. My family calls her bot bag for some, because one of us mispronounced it at one point. But you'll probably hear me call her that just randomly. But back to the point. I was too aggressive towards the mid game there. The mid game was basically the end game here. But what it comes down to is we had no way of getting rid of Ganesh. We had no way of getting rid of their tank. Now, normally, that's not an issue. But Ganesh has two things that really held back my ability to support properly. Odin, as well, has a huge problem with Ganesh. Kukulane, not so much. But actually, pretty much everyone on the team had an issue with Ganesh just by his silence. I can't dash, I can't taunt while I'm silenced. When Odin jumps with his Raven shield, if Ganesh is silencing the area where he lands, that shield used to vanish. I don't know if they fixed that, but there was, at least at the time, way back when Ganesh was first released, if this happened. I think it still might happen. I think it might cancel out the jump when Odin lands, and therefore nothing happens. I don't quite remember how that interaction works, but at the very least, Odin can't use his jump or his extremely useful ult while silenced by Ganesh. Nox and Baba Yaga, being mages, obviously have a problem with Ganesh. And on top of that, because we were 3 tanks, we had 3 defensive gods. We had myself, Odin, who was building hybrid, and Kukulane, who was also building tank. Ganesh's ult was just wearing out our protections just immediately, and just absolutely decimating us. I was not able to... Anytime Ganesh was present, we couldn't do anything, really. And normally what would happen in a normal team comp is your hunter, who would have built either Dominance or Executioner, would be able to shoot down the tank. That is normally what the hunter does. They eliminate structures and tanks. Generally speaking, that is the hunter's goal. We didn't have one of those. So not only did we not take structures, but we really had no genuine response to Ganesh. If Nox silenced him first, great, but often Nox wasn't looking to silence him because, frankly, the mage shouldn't be worrying about the enemy tank. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. That is usually the responsibility of either the assassin, if they're built a specific way, and that even then is restricted to specific assassins, or the hunter's job. That's not something the mage is supposed to deal with. So, no matter how you come down to it, it's a problem of our team comp, primarily speaking. The builds themselves weren't terrible. Baba Yaga is one of the very few gods I am accepting of double stacks because of her passive. When her house, collects essence throughout the game, and if you don't need healing and you stand near your house as Baba Yaga, the house gives you stacks instead of healing. So the double stacking Baba Yaga is perfectly fine. You can get away with stacking with Baba Yaga at basically any point in the game. That's never an issue. And furthermore, just the conduit gem is really great on her, especially when she ults. It allows her little health shield she gets at the beginning of her ult to last longer. It allows her to move faster while ulting. It allows the ult itself to do more damage. Obviously, her whole kit does damage, so that's really nice for that. Obviously, the Shoes of the Mage for sustain. The only thing I will criticize with Baba Yaga is she should have built Warlock Staff first. The only reason why is because that health will give you the opportunity to live long enough to stack the Book of Thoth more easily. That's the only thing I would criticize here with Baba Yaga's build. If you're gonna double stack with Baba Yaga, do Warlock Staff first. You don't need necessarily hundreds of thousands of power yet. You need that health first, and it has the happy coincidence of giving you magic penetration. But you really need the health in the early game to help you survive. That's the only criticism I'll make. Spirit of the Magus is fantastic on Baba Yaga. This is probably going to be Soul Eater, Soul Reaver, whatever it's called. The book there that does percentage of health damage to your abilities. Yeah, that was probably what this was going to be here. It's a great build, and I think probably at the end of the game, Typhon's Fang might have been a really good, interesting play here, or possibly Bancroft's Talent. I'm not sure what you would have replaced Boots with, but the build itself is fine. Like I said, I would have just swapped the order of stacking items. The Odin was okay. Bluestone makes a lot of sense on Odin. It's fantastic on Odin. Warrior Tabi, of course. Shifter's Shield. Now, I think this was too weak for this point in the game. I think, really, he should have gone with Gladiator's Shield, if I had to make a suggestion. That gives you a little bit more physical protections, which even then isn't, strictly speaking, what you would be wanting to build first anyways. Honestly, and technically, what Odin should have built first was Runic Shield, which is surprisingly very effective on Odin. It's not a whole lot of magic power reduction, but it really can stretch your shield a lot longer, your Raven Shield I mean, a lot longer when you're against magic opponents. He went with Ansley, which is also good, but I feel like Runic Shield combined with his Raven Shield is just a much better combination. Even if it doesn't remove that much magic power, it can still potentially make a difference. And then build, I would say, Gladiator's Shield. Like I said, this was probably going to be the Sledge. I think the Sledge was going to be too weak at this point. You were already behind. You really needed more protections. This should have been heavier protections. What specifically would have been entirely up to him. If this had been anything from Genji's Guard to Contagion to Bulwark of Hope. Bulwark of Hope is really good on Odin, by the way, because it also works very well with the Raven Shield. Nothing like having two shields. I just think that while the Odin's build wasn't bad, I don't think it was situationally correct. Which, again, as I've been mentioning the past couple of episodes, there's a problem with warriors not adjusting their builds to the situation, to the enemy team comp, to the allied team comp. There's just been this kind of weird standardization of kits, builds where you're either going abilities in hybrid like this, or whatever. It's, in what people use specifically changes a little bit. For example, you can see where Cooklane and Gilgamesh were building very similarly. The only difference is Gilgamesh went with Void Shield for some reason. I'll talk about that in a bit. And Cooklane went with Stone of Gaia, which I will also talk about in a little bit. But this did not consider the enemy team at all. This is just something that the Odin probably builds regularly to be kind of a hybrid assassin, basically. That is what the Odin was looking to build like, was a hybrid assassin. And I can understand why, given our team comp, but frankly, since the Odin was the last one to pick, what we really needed was a hunter. Odin can't fulfill the same purpose as a hunter because Odin's auto attacks aren't strong enough. To be completely frank, Odin's entire kit is based on his abilities. He is an ability-based warrior. He is not an auto attack-based warrior, nor is he one of those warriors that can choose. Vaman could effectively take the place of, or Vaman as they pronounce it, Vaman can take the place of a hunter. Gilgamesh can take the place of a hunter. Other assassins that could do it would be Arachne, Fenrir, any Naja, any hunter that can effectively build auto attacks can, in theory, replace a hunter. Odin is not one of these. So at the crux of it all is just the Odin being, first off, a warrior, and second off, not customizing their build to the enemy team, which is what warriors are supposed to do. The Nox's build itself isn't necessarily bad. I mean, Nox was somewhat thrown to the wayside by Baba Yaga that one time, and frankly, was always going to be a priority target of the enemy team just because Nox always is. That silence root combo annoys a lot of people, and so Nox tends to be targeted an excessive amount of time. So that's just how it really rolls. And that's not really something you can help. When you want to play Nox, you just have to accept that you're probably going to be targeted. But the build itself wasn't bad. I think maybe Charon's Coin could have been built second instead of Spear of Desolation, because you can actually put that HP 5, MP 5 to use, but beyond that, it's just the order I really am nitpicking here. The actual build, and even the play style, Nox played pretty well. It's, she hit her ults were good, she was there when I needed her, when I went in, she was usually there. There was a couple of times where I was too aggressive and she wasn't. That's not her fault, that's on me. The Cook Lane followed me to death, which was not the right move. I was clearly being too aggressive. Otherwise, I understand why Benevolence was being built on Cook Lane. It can be very effective. The problem is that unless you're building Frostbound Hammer on Cook Lane, it's not quite as effective as maybe you would want it to be. The Pestilence I do appreciate. That's good. I don't know what this could have been. Maybe Void Shield. I'm not 100% sure what this could have been. This could have been Berserker's Shield for all I know. But it's not a bad build. It's just, again, it doesn't account for the enemy team. You built physical protection against an enemy comp that had 3 magic damage. Nuwa, Baba Yaga, Ganesh. And you build physical protections first? That's not really how this works. Pestilence or Stone of Gaia should have been first, then build magic protections if it was Stone of Gaia, or then build Mystical Mail if it was your magic protections. It's just that the order of the protections being built is not taking into account the enemy comp, and that's the problem. I know that technically speaking, and I'm using the word technically in quotes here, that a 3 magic damage comp and a 2 physical comp is balanced because the towers, the Titan, and the minions all do physical damage, which obviously you want to protect against, and the Phoenixes, I believe, currently do magic damage. That's fine. But the minion damage past level, I would say 5, don't do enough damage in most cases, and definitely not in Clash, to be of significant concern. Your main concern is always going to be the enemy gods. So even though 3 magic 2 physical does, in theory, balance out the damage that you'll be taking because the minions will be doing physical damage and so will the towers, at the end of the day, the gods are always going to be doing more damage than the minions, and you should adjust your build for that, and neither of our warriors did that. Neither of them adjusted to the enemy's composition. Now the Nuwa, again, great build, played really well, Conduit Gem's great on her, she was a focus, Chronos Pendant for that continuing, the ability to ult whenever you need, get those minions out there, to get that nice spicy stun. Also for reference, Nuwa's minions reduce magic protection when they do that kind of dash attack. That reduces your magic protections, which obviously when they had 3 sources of magic damage and Ganesh can slap, that really hurt us as well. They had a lot of ways of reducing our protections, and that was the crux of the problem. We had too many people who needed protections to really survive. And she's got Charon's Coin on top of that, and she's got Spear of Desolation. Now, I will say that I've kind of got mixed feelings with Nuwa and Charon's Coin. On the one hand, her minions kind of make this less effective. This doesn't mean that 20% magic penetration doesn't mean as much because those minions are doing magic protection reduction. But on the other hand, I understand that Nuwa doesn't have an escape, and the extra movement speed on Charon's Coin is, in fact, somewhat important to Nuwa. Personally, I prefer Doom Orb and going Obshard for my penetration, personally. And even then, not Obshard, what am I talking about? I usually am going to actually go Demonic Grip, because those auto attacks, Nuwa's auto attacks are actually fairly impressive. Every 5th one doing a root, even with just Demonic Grip and nothing else, that is good enough attack speed where you can get that root off pretty quick. And, you get your stun in there, you pop out your 5 auto attacks. Oh no, they're rooted with Chronos' Pendant. Maybe they'll be rooted long enough for you to get your fog back, return your minions, shoot a crystal, or you can shoot a crystal if you have Polynomicon. You can do a nice slap. There's all kinds of really interesting things you can do with Nuwa and Demonic Grip. It's surprisingly potent, and eventually I will cover this. But Nuwa with Demonic Grip is substantially better than what a lot of people give it credit for. And I don't think enough people build Demonic Grip on Nuwa. I don't think enough people utilize Nuwa's auto attacks to their full potential. Personally. She's also one of the few mages where I will almost always at least consider Rod of Tahuti. I don't necessarily always build on her because, again, I don't really think it's quite the perfect item for her. Demonic Grip I prefer. I really like Doom Orb on Nuwa as well. I find that quite effective. Polynomicon, Chronos Pendant, obviously. There's a whole thing with her that is incredibly powerful, but I'll show that one day. The ROM built really well. I do like the leather cowl. This is really nice in Clash, specifically, because you absolutely get to provide... Eventually, you can choose to provide your allies with stats, but at the very least, you're getting attack speed a lot of the time. If you're not in the middle of a fight, that movement speed will get you there, which is theoretically how it's supposed to work in Conquest. The problem is that there's so much distance in Conquest that you have to travel that often that extra movement speed isn't too helpful anyways, except for those rare situations where, as a hunter, the enemy hunter, for some reason, can rotate faster than you. Hunters that come to mind would be Apollo, Jingwei. Those are the two that come to mind right off the top of my head. I would build Leather Cowl against those two very specifically, almost every time, just so that we can kind of counter their potential to get to a fight so quick. Izanami, sometimes it's worth getting on because she can just disappear into the jungle and then you don't realize she's gone until it's maybe too late, and then you have to play catch up. But in Clash, it's a different story because you're almost guaranteed to get your attack speed, whereas in Conquest, once you're farming alone, you don't really need that movement speed, in all honesty. But here in Clash, you run forward, suddenly you have the attack speed because it's almost always either a scuffle in one of the lanes with 2 or 3 of each team, or it's a full-blown team fight. This is also incredibly effective in Arena for similar reasons, and Joust for similar reasons, although Joust it's a little bit riskier because your friends might die by the time you get there. But that's beside the point. Leather Cowl is much more useful out of Conquest than in it, ironically. Besides that, Ninja Tabi's great. The chin size, the early chin size, considering we had 3 of us that were pretty tanky. Baba Yaga's got extra damage mitigation on her Cauldron. This was a fantastic choice. This is an extremely intelligent choice in this situation. Ichaival, I do wonder about the Ichaival. I don't think this was the move. I understand that it provides attack speed, but when you consider that only Cuchulainn was the one really focusing on attack speed here, it was only really going to make any kind of difference to Cuchulainn. I think what would have been a better idea would have been Atalanta's Bow, or Dominance, or Executioner. Executioner would have been okay. I think Dominance probably would have been a stronger pickup, considering Rom already has good enough attack speed anyways. This is probably going to be Executioner, in all honesty. Maybe Ozzy, but probably Executioner. But yeah, I don't like the Ichaival, whatever you want to pronounce it. I don't like that here. I don't think it's the correct move to make here. I honestly don't. It wasn't going to do enough for Rom. The only reason it worked, technically speaking, is because Rom was so far ahead and we were already so slapped down. I mean, Rom is level 17. We only had one person that was even anywhere near that, and the rest of our team was just incapable of farming because of just our inherently bad team comp and among other problems. The Gilgamesh, love animosity on him. Reinforced Greaves was a fantastic choice early game. Mystical Mail, not my favorite on him, personally, but that's purely personal preference. Strategically, this didn't matter. This was a fine pickup. Again, though, we encountered the same problem where he built his physical protections first when we had 3 magics. He really should have built... He didn't build magic protections until actually Shogun's Kusari, which is fairly interesting. I would have opened with my favorite magic protection item on Gilgamesh, which would be the Talisman of Energy, which is fantastic on Gilgamesh, by the way. Then go into... not even Void Shield, because only Rom really cares. I would have gone into... not Witchblade, because that would have been absolutely useless. I think I would have probably actually gone into Berserker's Shield. Get some penetration in there. And I'm not sure what I would have built after that. I'm still, I just recently got my Gilgamesh to Diamond, and I'm still trying to figure out how I specifically want to build him, because there's so many different things you can do. But in this situation, given that he was focusing on auto attacks, I might have built Toxic Blade at some point. Although we don't really have the healing to justify that, so that would really depend. Shogun's Kusari isn't bad, but I prefer Talisman of Energy. The main thing here, and the reason why the Gilgamesh was so incredibly effective, is just because, again, it comes down to our composition. They had Ram. The Gilgamesh could slap down enemies. We fed the enemy team, like the whole enemy team, pretty early. And a lot of us... The thing with Gilgamesh is, because Genesha was there to prevent us from using our escape abilities, Gilgamesh's ults and his slow on his Sunstrikes was just way more powerful than it normally would be. So, it basically just comes down to he was able to outlast us mostly through the HP he was building. Although he did have the protections and they did help, it was mostly the HP. And the ability for him to use his abilities and not really need to worry about too much retaliation. So it was... His build is okay, but it's not specifically tailored to our comp again. Mystical Mail is okay. Void Shield is a little excessive considering there's only 2 physicals. Shogun's Kusari was actually good, but I just prefer Talisman of Energy on Gilgamesh because it offers him more. The enemy Baba Yaga was building. Notice the difference here. The enemy Baba Yaga was building the stacks in the order I was talking about earlier. The reason why the enemy Baba Yaga did not do as well is because she didn't pick up a starter item, trying to rush those stacks as quickly as possible. And while I appreciate the reasoning behind that, our Baba Yaga was able to do a little bit more damage and push a little bit harder because of the Conduit Gem. I believe it's Conduit Gem, right? Yeah. I was going to call it the Conduit Stone, but I wasn't sure that was right. Anyways, the Conduit Gem allowed our Baba Yaga to hit a little bit harder, especially in those situations where she was approaching the fight and she could throw out a nice potion. Maybe it doesn't... that little bit of extra damage to really put you down into a position where you want to leave the fight rather than continue on. The Gem of Isolation is fairly interesting. I do really appreciate this. This is under-purchased on Baba Yaga, in my opinion. I think this is a great item, but basically, while the enemy Baba Yaga did excellent because she built excellently, the reason why she fell a little behind ours is just because she didn't have a starter item to really push an early advantage with. That's what it basically comes down to. Genesha, of course. Gauntlet of Thebes, same exact reasoning I had. Shoes of Focus, same reasoning. Breastplate of Valor first. Again, I understand why, but Genji's Guard would have probably been a better choice going to Contagion. In all honesty, I shouldn't have built my Voidstone this early. I'm going to actually, in retrospect, I shouldn't have built this early. I should have built that after I should have built Pestilence first, or alternatively Genji's Guard. One of the two. We needed... No, I didn't need Pestilence. Genji's Guard would have absolutely been what I needed, thinking about it. I should have built Genji's Guard. Should have built Breastplate of Valor, not Contagion. My build... Voidstone wasn't wrong. It was... as an item, it was in the wrong place. I built this too early. Contagion was wrong. They didn't have enough healing for this. I thought they were going to, but looking at their build, I clearly was not paying enough attention to their build. Obviously, I mean, there is no lifesteal, there is no self-heal. I mean, Gilgamesh technically provides lifesteal to everyone within his little circle, but that's it. That's it. Baba Yaga heals off of her hut, which she wasn't doing a whole lot of because she was clearly building stacks. I mean, this was a huge mistake. Contagion was a huge mistake. I never should have bought this. This should have been Breastplate of Valor. And Voidstone should have been Genji's Guard. I should have been building my cooldowns right off the top. Try and get around the Genesha's silence. So that was my bad. Besides, of course, my aggressive play. Past boots, I should not have built the way I did. It should have been Genji's Guard, Breastplate of Valor. So that's what I have to say about this match. We did terrible. Part of this was our team composition. Part of this is because almost our whole team built wrong. Our mages built fine, but the 3 tanks, we built like idiots. All 3 of us. This is what it comes down to. We couldn't be there for our mages like they needed us to be. And that's on us. So thank you very much for joining me on this short but wild match. And I hope you learned something. I certainly need to pay more attention to the enemy builds. Sometimes I don't pay as much attention as I should. But here we are. So thank you all very much for joining me. If you like this, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, ideas, what have you, please leave them down in the comments below. I do read them. And have a great 24 hours.